All right. The Cowboys dilemma. Contracts. I believe the contracts are our dilemma. Regardless of what we think about Ezekiel Elliott, whether he should be the starting running back, whether he not, whether you should have more touches with Tony Pollard or you should have more touches with Ezekiel Elliott, or whether you should pay Dak Prescott or not, the contract situation. It is the dilemma, regardless of how we look at it, regardless of how we try to paint the picture otherwise. And it's crazy. And I look at it like it should be a good problem to have, but I guess the productivity or the production does not equate the pay. And I'm pro Ezekiel Elliott. Yeah, I'm pro players getting their money, but the salary cap and the guaranteed money always muddy the waters. It makes the owners walk out of this situation unscathed, right? It makes the owner walk out of this situation as they're not greedy, and they paint themselves into a corner with the salary cap talk, right? Because at some point you look at it like, man, you really want these players to get paid that money because this the type of sport that it is, right? I just wish that the NFL just look at the whole picture and say, you know what, let's just toss out the salary cap situation. And those teams that perform as related from a remuneration, you can still do the quote-unquote revenue sharing. But I think that the salary cap always muddies the water because it get the fan base versus the fan base, and you have people running around saying, well, you got this and you got that. But let's just can all of that because I think that even in the salary cap era, we seen from the AFC conference that it was pretty much the same team continually going to the Super Bowl, right? But man, I don't know how to really put it. I got this great divide of the fan base, and I just want everybody to work together. I want everybody to be on the same page, but there's always a versus. Like with the Dallas Cowboys, it's always a versus. There's always a versus. Ezekiel Elliott versus a Tony Pollard. Dak Prescott versus a Tony Romo, right? It's never, okay, we all in on this guy. I remember and I recall everybody was going back and forth. Amari Cooper versus CeeDee Lamb. You shouldn't pay Amari Cooper. You got CeeDee Lamb now. You guys remember that? Oh, we should trade away Gallup because we got CeeDee Lamb now, right? So that versus battle is always crazy, and we never on the same page. I think that this team can go so much further if we all on the same page. Now, us as fans, I know that a lot of people will say, Law, we don't have any control of the game. We have no control of the game. It's not us. It's the owners. 9 times out of 10, the owners listen to some of the things that we say. The players are buying into some of the things we say, right? And the message do trickle down. If you think I'm lying, ask Antoine Woods what Law said earlier this year. He said we'll see about it, right? Ask D-Law what he said. F all y'all, right? You know, it does play some type of role, right? Let's not be fickle with this situation. But all I can say is this situation of Ezekiel Elliott versus Tony Pollard, let this thing be like this. Ezekiel Elliott is not going anywhere. His contract yells that is not tradable. So by us getting mad at the situation, by us being angry and upset that, hey, you paid this running back all of the money when the historic data shows that you don't pay running backs, right? Historic data shows that you don't pay running backs 2 years before their time, right? That's what the historic says, right? But we paid the brother 2 years before his time. We drafted a running back the same year he held out, right? And we never got a chance to see if that running back Tony Pollard can play in the National Football League without Ezekiel Elliott. He was never granted that opportunity to showcase his talent outside of a preseason game, which we saw some flashes there, and we was like, yeah, those flashes cool and all, law. Those flashes are great, but it's not a real game. And I've seen people say, well, the reason why Tony Pollard is running the way he's running now is because teams don't game plan to stop Tony Pollard. That's not such a thing, Cowboy Nation. Teams since 2016 and even since 2014, 15, and beyond load the box and say we demand for you to beat us one-on-one to the outside. That's why Tony Romo was really good in 2014. I think he only had 2 or 3 passing games of 300 yards or more in that year. And I could be a lot wrong. I don't feel like going back looking at everything. It's way back in the days. 2014 is a long time from now, right? It was a long time. But the name of the game, if you load the box, stop the run, force the quarterbacks to pass the ball. The Cowboys, even since that time frame, been a run-first team. Now, I do know that we got Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator, and we have Mike McCarthy, different system. But most teams are still going to look at it and say, okay, we're going to load the box to stop the run and force the quarterback to pass the ball. That's been the same case and scenario all this year. It's just that now we saw Dak Prescott stepped into that grown man role and taking advantages of the situation. When you have the one-on-one to the outside, when you can manipulate the middle of the field with your tight end and your slot guy. Now, granted, he got injured this year, but I'm quite sure if Dak Prescott was healthy for the remainder of this year, we would have seen some crazy numbers, regardless of how we look at it. Now, the defense saying, hello, I'm here, right? The defense is now waking up, which is cool. I like that side of it. But we got to understand that even if you have Tony Pollard or Ezekiel Elliott, teams are going to say to themselves, we want to stop the run. And you pretty much from a defensive coordinator situation, you just load the box. Now, Tony Pollard, he does bring in the explosiveness, the elusiveness. He can get to the edge. He can run in between the splits. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. Naturally, it doesn't look like it's struggling for him to catch or what have you. But if we can just pump the brakes, because I'm going to say it again, Ezekiel contract is untradeable. So get that out of your mind. The only way Ezekiel Elliott can be removed from this team if he does something crazy with domestic violence, because that's in his contract, or any nefarious things that happen during the offseason with the laws and stuff like that. They got a clause in his contract where all of the guaranteed money can be null and void and the contract can be ripped and shredded to pieces. And I think that Ezekiel Elliott, collectively speaking, is on the up and up. He's mature. So there's no getting rid of Ezekiel Elliott. So my thing is, hear me out. I know a lot of people going to say, nah, Law, he's trash, get rid of him, he's horrible, he can't do this, he can't do that. But my thing is, work with him. Work with him. The owners got to understand, and I gotta say this with the owners. The owners got to understand that, yes, you paid this man all of this money, and you didn't pay that man all of this money to be a split back. But I think that now time has escaped from that whole situation of him being the bell cow or the end-all, be-all, the guy that's going to get 25, attempts, 25 to 30 attempts. That's gone. Give the brother 15, split this thing down the middle, give this guy 12, 15 snaps or attempts or what have you, and let Pollard get some. Pollard, you get some too. This will take y'all career, both of you all career, a whole lot farther. Like they say, you can go fast by yourself, meaning that you can get all of those numbers by yourself, but you can go further with someone else. So they need to figure out how to bring these two together. I know it's a crazy situation. A win is a win is a win. And Tony Pollard, right now he got the flavor and the sauce. But let's not crown him as well, right? Right? Let's look at this thing as let's use these guys together. All right, Cowboy Nation, that's all the time that I have for right now. I really appreciate you all. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this content. Let that friend, neighbor, foe know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboy Sports Talk and Beyond. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's go. I'm out. Peace.